Okay, stick with me here because this is a wild one. What if your social media feed, your likes, your shares, could actually power a real-world automated local economy? Today, we're diving into a pretty radical logistics system where AI connects your online influence directly to a little box that delivers your stuff.
All right, so let's just jump right in with a big question. Imagine this. What if your social profile wasn't just for, posting vacation pics? What if it was actually a business, a real profit-generating engine?
And get this, what if the entire warehouse for that business, the whole shebang, could fit inside a single automated shipping container? That's the core idea we're going to unpack today. All right, so here's how we're going to break this all down. First, we'll look at the new economic model behind this whole thing. Then, we'll get into the social distribution hub itself, peek inside what they're calling the lights off box, figure out where people actually fit in, and finally, see how a big AI network pulls it all together. Okay, first up, let's talk about the big picture here, a totally new economic model. This isn't just about getting your packages faster. It's about reimagining your social profile as an actual piece of the supply chain, where your clicks and shares suddenly have very real economic weight. So this diagram here kind of weighs it all out for us. See, at the center of it all, you've got social media activity and AI agents. They're the ones driving the profit. In this kind of system, your online engagement isn't just data being sold off somewhere. Nope, it becomes a kind of workforce, predicting what people want, influencing the stock in these local hubs, and creating value that's tracked right through the system. Okay, so that's the theory. But what does this look like in the real world? Well, let's get into the physical heart of the system, the Social Distribution Hub, or as they call it, the SCPU. And right away, this overview shows something really interesting. This whole social media distribution center concept, it's a franchise model. So, we're not talking about some single giant corporation owning everything. We're talking about a network of these high-tech units that regular people could actually own and run. So what exactly is an SCPU? Well, the acronym stands for Social Media Containerized Processing Unit. The easiest way to think about it is like a tiny, completely automated warehouse that fits inside a shipping container. It's small, you can drop it pretty much anywhere, and this is key, it's brand agnostic, which just means it doesn't care whose products it's handling. All right, so let's peek inside one of these boxes. How does it all work? Well, the whole system is built for what's called a lights-off operation. That means it's designed to run 24/7 with, in theory, 0 humans needed inside the unit. So who's in charge inside? Well, the brain of every SCPU is something called the bot operator. This is the AI controller, and it uses a live camera feed to see everything. That visual intelligence lets it identify, sort, and manage every single item in that container, all in real time. Okay, so let's follow a product on its journey through the SCPU. It's a pretty straightforward 4-step flow, all automated. First, trucks show up and drop off the inventory. Then, the bot operator's AI gets to work, sorting and packaging things up. After that, robots move the items onto storage shelves. And finally, when an order comes in, an autonomous vehicle is sent out to make the delivery. Pretty slick. So, with all this talk of bots and AI, you're probably asking, okay, so what do the people do? And that's where the franchise model really comes into play. The division of labor is actually pretty clear-cut. On one hand, you have the AI, the bot operator. It does all the heavy lifting, 24/7, managing the bots, tracking every single piece of inventory, coordinating deliveries. On the other hand, you have the human franchisee. Their job is to be the owner. They fund the system and oversee the physical maintenance of their unit. So how does that funding part work? Well, it's all done through a mobile app. The human owner puts in real money to buy something called social media credits. And that's the fuel for the whole operation. It's the digital currency that pays for every transaction and keeps their SCPU up and running. Okay, so one of these SCPU boxes is cool, but the real game changer here is when you connect a bunch of them into a network. Let's look at how these individual boxes team up to create a massive coordinated web. Right, so these units aren't just lone wolves. As you can see here, they're all linked up and managed by a higher-level AI. Think of it as a core engine that's making the big strategic calls for the entire network. And what's the job of this big brain AI? Well, it's all about optimization. It handles proximity-based fulfillment, which means your order always gets sent from the closest possible SCPU. It manages account-locked security to keep everything safe. It juggles the brand-agnostic logistics across the whole network. It even coordinates everything to use as little power as possible. It's basically the ultimate efficiency expert.
So, if there's one thing to take away from all this, it's this idea right here. A decentralized, automated fulfillment network run by AI but owned by people. It's a really fascinating split. And all of this leaves us with a pretty big question to chew on. When you imagine a world with a whole network of these hyperlocal, automated, individually owned delivery hubs, are we just looking at the future of local commerce? Or could this be something much bigger, something that completely redefines the gig economy as we know it?